Hey there, welcome to day 5 of Parenting Boot Camp. I'm Melissa Benaroya. I have been your coach through boot camp, and you may be showing up today because this is also Friday Facebook Parenting Live. So today's topic is about using routines, and routines are really important because they create consistency and clear expectations. Not just for kids, but for parents as well. It's hard for us to stay consistent. So having this tool that ideally our kids use will help allow us to stay focused on what really matters and what really has to get done. So I first want to just give a shout out to Susanna. I had written everybody's names down. To Susanna and to Marielle and Sandra for jumping in the conversation already this morning. I realized when I woke up this morning that I failed to send off the email to you all. So I apologize. So some of you may have missed it because it wasn't within your window of time. So I deeply apologize about that, but hopefully by now you have the email about today's topic, which is creating routine charts or responsibility charts. And these charts are really helpful, especially during those tough times during the day. And for most families, it's first thing in the morning. It's right after school when you have older kids. It's that transition to home and getting homework done and everything else that has to get done in the afternoon. Or it's bedtime. And there's usually a set number of things that have to happen daily, and it's easiest to stay focused and on track when it's clearly laid out. So my suggestion was that in creating a routine or responsibility chart, that you do this together with your child. There are so many cute, adorable little charts out there. Excuse me. But I think the most valuable and powerful chart out there is going to be the one that you create with your child. So the difference here in this type of routine chart is that it's created together with your child from beginning to end. So defining exactly what goes on that chart, brainstorming together, picking out and scaling it back to 4 to 8 things that happen during that period of time, then creating it together physically, taking pictures of your child. Kids love pictures of themselves. Who does? I mean, as humans, we all love pictures of ourselves, but kids love it. They're super egocentric. So I think it's going to be a much better guide in helping your child understand what they need to do, because they're not looking at a cute little cartoon or a word. It's them actually doing that thing. So they can help create it by taking pictures together. It can be a fun weekend activity, and then designing it. So many families will decorate it. Mine was really plain and boring. Excuse me, I have a really terrible head cold. Mine is really plain and boring, but I've seen really beautiful creative things. So, on the back of yours, if your kid's in the Cars character, put a different Cars character. If your daughter loves stickers, let her put stickers all over her chart or whatever. The handmade ones are the best. So once you've designed it together with your child, let them choose where it goes. And ideally, it's going to be a place where they can access it themselves. So it's not going to be up high where you have to get involved. The goal here is that you aren't involved at all. And I got a few comments. So Susanna, and I think Susanna may have read a blog post. I recently read a blog post about routine charts, and it was about making bedtime kind of a mindful experience, blending mindfulness practices, which we've talked about, and using Mind Yeti, and also using the routine chart. And one thing I want to note is that our brains have evolved to be calmed through repetition and routine. So I think just being mindful that this repetition and routine helps create a feeling of calm for kids, less chaos, and more control. Another thing that I also want to note is that it allows for you to be more consistent. So when things happen in the morning, you don't have to pick and choose. Like, what has to get done. It's very easy to kind of get sidetracked. Like, you need to clean up that mess from last night. No, if getting out the door in the morning is what you're trying to accomplish, stay focused on what's on the chart. So it keeps us as parents focused. It can also be helpful when there are other caregivers. So if you're not there, say there's a bedtime routine in place and you're using a bedtime chart. If there's a babysitter, it's very clear what your child needs to do, and they can follow it together with your child. Now, one thing that is really important, especially with the littles, is that we take time for training, that we can't just create the chart and expect them to go for it and get it all done. No, we're gonna have to go through this process with them. And for some, it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks that we do it together. And then slowly we can kind of back off and titrate our involvement until they handle it all on their own. And different kids have different abilities in managing this. Some are more just organized than others generally. And I know I started this and I think the example that I gave you is actually the routine chart I used when my kids were 3 and 5. And I shared that chart because I'm not going to send you pictures of other people's kids. But my kids were really young, and my 3-year-old was actually a lot better at following it than my 5-year-old because he's just a much more disciplined and organized person. She gets off track, and that's why this routine chart is really nice, because it helps kids get back on track and manage themselves. We use our phones, we use apps to keep us organized in our calendars to tell us where we need to be next. This is the first tool a child can use to help them stay on track and know what's coming next, what they need to be doing next. So it's a great tool for kids. Marielle said that she had created one about a month ago but wasn't using it, so I'm not sure why I turned to you. Hopefully you're still there and I didn't miss you. I'm not sure what happens when a phone call comes in. So anyway, so Marielle said she created one about a month ago, but I'm not sure what that chart looked like, how it was created, and how it was implemented. So all of those things really matter. The taking time for training is really key. Susanna said she's created one, implemented it, and her daughter has jumped on board. And Sandra had a question because she has a 22-month-old, and she was concerned, like, is it too young to start using this with my child? And I would say that the expectation that they do this on their own is unrealistic, that they're not going to get to that point probably for at least another year. But I think it can be helpful in setting very clear expectations so they know what happens every day. Kids like to know what's coming next. They like to know because, once again, it creates that calming feeling. It's less chaotic for them. So I think, if anything, it's helpful to your child. And once again, if there's other caregivers, there will be that consistency. And when they're old enough, they're going to be able to manage this pretty quickly because they've been doing it for so long with you. So for many of you, many of the parenting tools that we've talked about, even though your child may be too young, is an opportunity for you just to get practice and make it your natural habit of using these tools and strategies. So today's topic was pretty brief. I think that getting really clear and having clear expectations for our kids makes a big difference. They're going to be more likely to do what we need them to when we set those expectations, and having this visual can be super helpful. I wanted to make myself available today too to answer any questions that you might have about anything that's happened over the course of our boot camp or anything related to this topic today. I'm not sure if there were a few other questions that came up related to the topic we discussed last night. Excuse me. And creating those opportunities for connection. And I really like to call them rituals for connection, and ritualizing the time that you're connecting with your child, and really just calling it out and giving it a name so they know concretely that this is their time. You may be cognizant of you are making this time or you have this time with them, but them clearly knowing that this is their special time that's set aside for them makes a big difference. One thing that Sandra, I think, had asked was, she's still nursing right now, and that she kind of considers that her kind of focused connection time, and that ideally that time will translate into that special time. So it's just kind of being mindful that, oh wow, now I can just like move on with my day every day and not have to do the nursing thing. I think it's great that you've acknowledged this opportunity that you've created already through nursing, but that you can continue through other cuddles or stories or whatever else it is that you want to do during this special time. So I like that that can translate into a ritual connection beyond the time that you spend nursing. So if there aren't any other questions for today, some days have been really busy and lots of questions, and this honestly may be my fault because I sent the email out late, and I'm so sorry. I think it's just I've got this terrible head cold and I'm just not thinking super clearly, so I deeply apologize. I want to let you know that if you're just joining us and you've just signed up for boot camp, or you haven't signed up for boot camp, if you do, you will get access to all of the workouts for this week. You just need to have signed up for the boot camp to get the workouts. So don't feel like you've missed anything, because I'll make sure that you get everything that you missed. And I have a little something that I'm going to be sending you this afternoon, as well as a little bit of a follow-up. So be on the lookout for that. If there are any questions, I'm going to stick around on our Facebook group and answer questions throughout the day. So please feel free to jump in. There is a section for questions, thoughts, and reactions. Post them there. And then there's also the question that I post, so people can get ideas of what you're doing and how you're applying some of these tools and strategies as well. So there's kind of two places to post for two different reasons. And I'm going to make sure that our Facebook group stays live for at least the next week or two, and then it's coming down, I know. But I want to let you know that even though it's coming down, that our conversations don't have to end, that I do have a private Facebook group for childproof parenting, and I'd love for you to join me over there at the Childproof Parenting Facebook group. Or Childproof Parenting Community, which is a Facebook group. So please jump on over there, and I'll make sure I send you a link so you don't miss that, because there's been so much great feedback, so many great questions, so many great ideas, and I know there's over 100 people on our Facebook group, and even though people may not be sharing and jumping in, I know they're getting a lot of value from the things that you're sharing, and I appreciate that there's so many of you jumping in and acknowledging and supporting one another, just acknowledging that you have those same struggles. Or Anne has jumped in and given a bunch of people some ideas. She's a teacher, and so she practices a lot of these things in her classroom, and is also noticing that some of the things she does with her kids at school, she could be using more with her kids at home. So anyways, it was really fun having this opportunity to get to know you and work with you. And I want you to know that I still have many more ways for us to engage and for me to support you. So please, you'll be on my mailing list, so you'll continue to get information from me that way. I have some really cool stuff coming up soon. I have a few webinars that I have planned that I'm working on right now. And I really want to continue to stay engaged with you and support you as you go through your process of growing as a parent and supporting your child through their process as well. All right, everybody, have a fabulous weekend. If you're here in the States and you're on the West Coast, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful spring break, and hopefully you have something fun planned. Maybe you're going somewhere warm. And I look forward to seeing more of you elsewhere over emails and through Facebook. All right, thanks so much, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.